Welcome back to MVP Auto 8000. Camera opens with a wide shot of a dirt trail stretching into the horizon, dust floating in slow motion, and the unmistakable sound of a two-stroke engine echoing in the distance. Then the bike appears, bright green, aggressive, unmistakably Kawasaki. This is the 2026 Kawasaki KX500, and today on MVP Auto 0008, we're diving deep into what makes this machine one of the most anticipated motocross releases in years. Whether you're a hardcore two-stroke fan, a desert rider, or someone who just loves raw, unfiltered power, this bike is something you'll want to hear about. Now, if you're familiar with motorcycle history, you know the original KX500 was a legend, an absolute beast that dominated off-road racing for more than a decade. It had a reputation for being fast, wild, unforgiving, and thrilling in a way that only big-bore two-strokes can deliver. Riders either loved it or feared it. And for years, fans begged Kawasaki to bring it back. Well, 2026 is the year, and Kawasaki has done much more than a simple revival. They've redesigned, re-engineered, and rebuilt the KX500 to fit the demands of modern riders while keeping the spirit and attitude that made the original machine iconic. When you first see the 2026 model up close, the styling immediately grabs you. The bike has that sharp, modern Kawasaki look, aggressive body lines, a slimmer seat, sleeker plastics, and a stance that just screams race-ready. Kawasaki didn't just recycle old parts. This bike is built on an updated lightweight aluminum perimeter frame that feels much more rigid and precise than older generations. The frame helps the bike stay stable at high speeds, especially crucial when dealing with a powerplant like the new 500cc engine. It also gives better control during tight turns and technical sections, something the original KX500 struggled with. Speaking of the engine, let's talk about the heart of this monster. At 500cc, this isn't just a nostalgia piece, it's a modernized two-stroke engine with updated port timing, a redesigned expansion chamber, and electronic fuel injection instead of a traditional carburetor. That's right, Kawasaki finally brought FE to a big-bore two-stroke. What that means for the rider is smoother throttle response, more manageable low-end torque, and much easier maintenance. No more fiddling with jets depending on altitude or temperature. The computer adjusts fuel delivery automatically, keeping the engine running at peak performance whether you're riding dunes, forest trails, or a motocross track. Despite being fuel-injected, the engine still has that classic two-stroke punch. When you crack the throttle, there's an immediate burst of power that feels almost electric. But Kawasaki worked hard to make that power more controllable. Instead of the old, explosive, sometimes unpredictable surge, the new KX500 spreads its power more evenly. Riders get a huge mid-range pull and a strong top-end rush, but the bottom end is smoother, more linear, and less intimidating for riders who aren't used to big-bore two-strokes. It's still a powerhouse, but now it's a powerhouse with manners. The sound of the engine is another thing fans will love. Kawasaki kept that signature growl and high-pitched scream when the engine hits higher RPMs. It's loud, it's raw, and it's authentic. If you grew up around two-strokes, the sound alone will put a smile on your face. The bike also includes an updated exhaust silencer that helps meet emissions and noise regulations without killing the iconic tone. Now let's talk suspension. Kawasaki equipped the 2026 KX500 with their latest Showa components, 48mm coil spring forks up front and a fully adjustable rear shock. These parts are tuned specifically for the big-bore power, giving the bike excellent stability during jumps, fast straights, and rough terrain. Whether you're blasting through sand whoops or carving through tight forest trails, the suspension gives a predictable, confidence-inspiring feel. Riders have said that even though the bike has insane power, the suspension makes it surprisingly forgiving. And because this is a modern Kawasaki, everything is fully tunable, letting riders customize the settings for racing, trails, or desert riding. One of the biggest improvements Kawasaki made is weight reduction. The new KX500 comes in significantly lighter than the old model, thanks to the aluminum frame, redesigned engine components, and optimized plastics. The weight savings make the bike feel more agile and easier to control, especially in technical terrain. It's still a big bore two-stroke, so it has that serious torque, but the lightness gives it a more modern, refined feel. Riders who used to find the original 500 intimidating will notice the difference immediately. The ergonomics of the bike also stand out. Kawasaki designed the seating, handlebars, and foot peg positions with modern riding styles in mind. The seat is a bit narrower, making it easier to move forward and back during aggressive riding. The handlebars sit in a more upright and natural position, reducing arm fatigue. Overall, the bike feels comfortable whether you're standing or sitting, and even long rides feel manageable. It's not just a race bike, it's also designed for trail riders who want power without sacrificing comfort. Traction control might not be something you'd expect on a big bore two-stroke, but Kawasaki added a basic version to help manage wheel spin in slippery conditions. It doesn't interfere too much with the bike's natural power delivery. Instead, it acts like a safety net. If you're riding on loose gravel or wet dirt, the system gently smooths out the throttle so the rear wheel doesn't kick out unexpectedly. Riders who want the pure, untamed two-stroke experience can turn the system off with the press of a button. Braking performance also got a major upgrade. The front brake features a large, pedal-style disc paired with a high-performance caliper that brings the bike to a stop quickly and smoothly. The rear brake feels responsive without being overly sensitive, which is important when controlling a bike with this much torque. Kawasaki also updated the brake pads for longer life and better heat resistance. When you're riding fast, especially in desert environments, brakes heat up quickly. These new components stay consistent even under aggressive use. As for the electronics, Kawasaki kept things simple but effective. You get selectable engine maps, traction control, and basic diagnostic tools built into the FE system. There's no overwhelming digital dashboard or complicated menus, just a clean, minimal setup that gives riders what they need without getting in the way of the riding experience. After all, the KX500 is still meant to be a raw, mechanical machine at its core. Now let's talk about who this bike is for. The 2026 KX500 isn't built for beginners. Kawasaki makes that clear. This is a bike for serious riders who love adrenaline, who want the power of a big bore two-stroke, and who want a machine that demands respect. If you ride dunes, wide-open deserts, long fire roads, or motocross tracks with big jumps, this bike will give you everything you're looking for. It's fast, aggressive, and capable of insane acceleration. But Kawasaki has refined it